Look alive, YouTube, and welcome back into the Hollywood Rip studio for episode 13, I believe, of the Hobby Headquarters Sports Card Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Mr. Hollywood, sitting alongside the lovely Joe Nasty, as per usual. We thank you for joining us today. We got a lot of big auctions that closed this week, as well as some new releases coming out soon, some really big ones. And don't forget, the free agent stove is dialing up the heat in the MLB as well. Halfway point for the NFL, the NBA back in full swing. But let's start with a bunch of auction news. This has been a pattern as of recent, is us to do auction news. I'm going to run through a quick list of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to run through a quick list of 5 of them. And I want you to tell me if any of them jump out at you.
Okay, I'm listening.
Number 1, Victor Wembanyama's rated rookie gold vinyl 1 of 1 out of Donruss Optic. It is a PSA 9. You're looking at a picture of it on your screen right now. That has officially sold for $184,000. $184,220 to be exact. Wemby is struggling a little to start his sophomore year. His averages are down across the board. Points, rebounds, assists. I think the only one that's up is blocks. Field goal percentage is way down. What else sold? Pete Rose, his official banishment letter from Major League Baseball. Of course, for betting on baseball. The final page of that contract, which is signed by Pete Rose and the commissioner, sold for $408,700.
Wow.
Also on Golden Auctions. So a pretty big sale there, a pretty historic document there. Unfortunately, good timing to sell that one. G.G. Jackson's 1 of 1 True Black Prism sold for $23,000. He averaged 14.6 points, 4.1 rebounds, 1.2 assists a game in his rookie season, shooting 42% from the field. This one was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Shohei Ohtani's 51st home run ball this year. Not his 50th.
Next one.
Like the 51st one, which, by the way, he hit 3 more after this, right? It sold for $427,000. I'm gonna say right now, this is the one that's probably the most interesting because it's just ludicrous.
It's a lot.
How much that ball went for. So I'm gonna guess that you're gonna chime in on that one. But our last one, quickly jumping to our last auction before we go into detail on some of these. A custom Shohei Ohtani Babe Ruth dual cut autograph made by Reclaim Customs. Yes, the same people that made this Babe Ruth and Shohei Ohtani dual cut autograph. Sold on Golden for $15,000. That one just had the cut autographs. Of course, ours has game-used jersey patches as well as game-used bat memorabilia in it. Selfishly, I also think ours looks better.
Yeah, it looks good.
So I think custom cards, that was a good to see for custom cards that someone was willing to shell out $15K for a custom card, because at the end of the day, it costs less to make it than they sold it for.
Right.
So those are kind of our 5 big auction cards of the week. Which ones are jumping out at you?
I thought the G.G. Jackson one's a little insane for a guy who wasn't really a top prospect to start. Like, he had a really good rookie year, don't get me wrong.
He did.
Love the upside. Great size with good skill combination. But also, he's dealing with a foot injury right now. He's not going to be playing, reportedly, at least, or they're aiming for mid-January. And he got $23,000 for that?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe it was by his good friend or his family member, JJ. That one kind of jumps out at me. The Pete Rose one is history. I like that. That sort of has a little panache to it. I don't really love supporting cheating. You know that.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I'd say that those two things kind of stood out to me. G.G. Jackson, first of all, we're talking about Ohtani, Pete Rose, one of the greatest basketball prospects of all time, Babe Ruth, and G.G. Jackson.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that one kind of
Well, no, that's why it's here. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah. So, like, I think 23,000 is a bit much for that, for a guy who had a good 50 games of his career. And, I'd say that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I kind of understand why someone paid 23 for it. Obviously, Ja was out most of the year last year, and Gigi did have a crazy last couple weeks of the season. I think he was scoring like 30, 40 points.
Sure.
Had a 40-point game for sure in the last week there.
Electric talent.
I'm kind of with you on that. He's never gonna be the number one option in Memphis there. Obviously, Morant's always going to be the one option. Desmond Bane's always going to be the two option.
Right.
You know, like, where does G.G. Jackson really fit into this in terms of $23,000 fit in? I'm not so sure. I'm really not so sure.
Yeah.
I would definitely rather be putting $23,000 into a player, into someone like Chet Holmgren.
Amen Thompson.
Who's on a team. Well, I don't know about Amen Thompson, but
he's playing well.
Definitely Chet. Because I just think that team's going to have more success. Mm-hmm. Right? I thought this Ohtani 51st home run ball was a bananas price. I think it's like bananas. And I understand that this was part of that crazy game he had, right?
Yeah.
Was it?
I thought he finished with 50.
Or did he finish with 50?
That's what I thought. I can double check if you need, but if my memory serves me right, which
either way,
it rarely does.
Whether he finished with 50 or not in that game, this being the 51st home run ball, I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say this is not the last time Shohei Ohtani will hit 50 home runs. I think he's going to do it again. I don't know if it'll be this season or next season or the next one, but like, I think the odds of him doing it are probably 50-50. Maybe a little more than that.
54, 59 maybe?
Yeah. Well, that doesn't add up to 100.
Oh.
Not a mathematician.
I thought it was topical.
But yeah, 427,000 for that ball. That shocked me, honestly. It really did. Speaking of Ohtani, we found out that he underwent surgery on Tuesday morning in Los Angeles with Dr. Neil Elatrash over at Curlin Job.
I think the team keeps him in business.
Yeah.
Like every other day is a new.
He's on retainer with the Dodgers.
Truly.
But he had surgery to repair a torn labrum in his left shoulder, which officially confirms that he was significantly injured after that left shoulder subluxation in Game 2 of the World Series, sliding into second base. It probably explains why he went 1 for 21 at the plate.
Right.
Or should I say, he got he had a hit in the first game, and then he didn't have a hit again or something.
At least I know one more for sure with the shoulder injury.
Okay.
But not much.
Yeah, I mean, look, Shohei kind of has an excuse to hit like under 100 in the World Series. Aaron Judge doesn't really have an excuse to hit under 100 in the World Series, but that's exactly what happened. Let's jump to new releases. Do you have anything to say on that one?
Look, the swing looked terrible. Like, anyone who said he's just battling through minor pain is like, just look at him swing. It's a totally different swing. The facial expressions are off. I was unfortunately not surprised. I
mean, dude had a torn labrum. Mm-hmm. A torn labrum. It gets crazier the more time that goes by. Knowing now that obviously the Dodgers won the World Series, but that they did so with Ohtani having a torn labrum, Freddie Freeman having broken ribs,
and the ankle,
and an ankle sprain. They lost Rojas.
Yep.
Earlier in the playoffs. Obviously they had no pitching. They lost Glasnow. They lost May, Gonsolin, Kershaw. Whatever. We don't have to talk about it anymore.
Until next week.
Let's go to new releases. Topps Chrome update. This is shaping up to be a huge release, a really exciting release that I think a lot of people are looking forward to. I saw a picture of the Paul Skeens MLB debut patch.
Ooh.
1 of 1 earlier today. It looks badass. I think those MLB debut patch cards are incredible. They are really, really well done. But you're going to love this one. Because they also announced that Jackson Holliday and your boy Billy Ripken.
Yeah, my boy.
Of course, the F face card
Yes.
guy.
Truly my favorite.
We all remember that Topps. I forget if it was. I think it was Series 1. Maybe it was Series 2. I think it was Series 1. They released an homage to that card with Jackson Holliday having a fun face bat knob card.
Yes.
They are coming out with the first ever dual one-of-one autograph of Jackson Holliday and Billy Ripken. I don't know if they're gonna. I mean, I have a photo of it somewhere. I just don't remember off the top of my head. I'll put it on your screen now. But that card is going to be part of Topps Update. You know what else is going to be part of Topps Update? Is the first ever triple Jackson auto. Jackson Holliday, Jackson Churio, and Jackson Merrill. Unfortunately, that card is sticker autographs.
Oh.
So it's not autographed on the card, and Jackson Merrill's autograph on that card, because we've seen photos of it, looks awful. This is like, and this is when you ask athletes to sign stickers, and you ask them to sign, say, 5,000 stickers at once, they're not exactly taking their time.
No.
And that's the problem with it,
Is
right?
there at least the right picture of him this time?
Yeah, it's the right
Okay.
picture of him this time, which is a step up.
Yeah.
Which is a step up.
Baby steps.
But any quick thoughts on Topps Update?
Yeah, I'm trying to think
being
of
pretty big.
I'm trying to think of 2 more Jacksons they could have included to make it the Jackson 5.
The Jackson 5, yeah. I don't know. I'll think about it as you continue.
It's cool.
Jackson Ferris could have been on it.
Who's that?
Come on, you don't know who Jackson Ferris is?
Who's Jackson Ferris?
He's a pitching prospect.
Wait, is that the guy the Dodgers got back from the Cubs?
Exactly.
Oh, I do know who it is.
Jackson Ferris.
The Michael Bush deal?
In the Michael Bush deal.
Okay, I do know. That's the kind of stuff I like. And if they could find 2 more Jacksons, I would really like it. Maybe have them. Maybe I'll have them wear like 70s garb too, for like the Jackson 5 disco era.
Yeah.
Then I would probably bust the bank.
Yeah,
for that one.
that'd be a classic.
That'd be unbelievable.
Yeah, I'd for sure be in
I
that.
gotta think of someone else. There's gotta be 2 more people, but not rookies.
Jackson Cower.
Oh yeah,
There's a 5th. We have the Jackson 5.
Get on it.
Jackson Cower, Jackson Ferris, Jackson Holliday, Jackson Churio, Jackson Merrill. Topps, make it.
as easy as ABC.
Yeah, exactly. Another new release, and this is a huge one.
Yeah.
This is a really big one. 2023, and I know I said 23, it's 2024. They're always a year behind on Flawless. But 2023 Flawless NFL trading cards. They are set, first off the line, is set to debut sometime towards the end of November. Like I said before, it's always a year delayed. It's kind of annoying because they can't get game-used jerseys until the next year.
Right.
So it kind of makes sense.
And it's just in time for the holiday season.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
The first off the line is going to start the Dutch auction at $8,000 a box. Now, normally, these go like $10,000 or more.
Oh.
The Dutch auction is going to floor at $4,000. How it works is basically starts at $8K and the price drops every 5 minutes until the product sells out. I'm going to go out and say right now, before we even talk about 2023 Flawless and how crap of a product this is going to be because of how crap the players are in this product, I hate Dutch auctions. I really do, because in my opinion, a Dutch auction is taking advantage of a buyer, and it basically preys on your fear that you need to buy it before it sells out.
Is this
Right?
actually have to do with the Netherlands, or is this like a term for something?
I don't know. Look it up.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea. But in my opinion, Dutch auctions are such a trashy way of selling a product, in my opinion. I think it really rubs me the wrong way. And like maybe I'm the only one that thinks that. I don't know if I'm the only one that thinks that.
Oh, I see.
But I find it so, like, such a low blow. Like, these people are already spending way more than the boxes are worth. Right? Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, you're going to put fear into the equation to try and coerce people to buy it at a higher price. To me, it's a morally unethical business proposition or business model or way of selling something. I really don't like it. Any thoughts on that?
No, I mean, I'm not going to speak on stuff I don't have a full understanding on.
Yeah.
I feel like that's always a good way to go about things. But you're passionate about it. And reading through it, it is a weird system. It did start in the Netherlands, but now it's just a slang term. So you set it high to bring it down. I do find that very interesting. It seems sort of like not the point. So yeah, that's my first reaction without really being able to flesh it out.
Yeah. Well, let's get into the product.
You know what you also sound like? Was it Austin Powers? What's the line? There's two things I hate. I forget the first one. It's like, and the Dutch. Right?
Yeah, isn't that right? I don't remember the first line either.
Two things I hate. The Dutch.
Yeah.
Dutch auctions.
But let's talk about the actual product, because the biggest hit in the set is...
I have some names that I looked up after seeing your preview.
It's probably like Puka Nacua.
Or C.J. Stroud.
No.
You don't think so?
Is Stroud in this?
Yeah, he would be. He was drafted 2nd overall.
Oh, this is...
Yeah.
Yes, no. But the thing with Stroud is Fanatics exclusive.
Oh, so he can't
So
be a part
Stroud,
of it.
no, he's in the set, but he has no autographs.
I see. So wouldn't
Stroud has no autographs. And in Flawless, so sure, Stroud's 1 of 1 platinum non-autograph is going to do very well, right?
Gotcha.
But he has no autographs in this set.
Gotcha.
So CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, they are not in this set in terms of autographs. And people buy Flawless for on-card rookie autographs. That's
Gotcha.
why you buy Flawless. And your best cards you can pull out of it are Puka Nacua and Anthony Richardson.
Yeah. What about? Well, it depends how you feel about Bijan, right?
Bijan is also Fanatics
So
exclusive.
that's the
I
issue.
think.
So that's the issue.
I'm not 100% sure on that one.
I
Maybe
looked
he's
it up.
not.
There's also the receivers, Zay Flowers and Jordan Addison, but like
Yeah, but
they don't have the same value.
No. And so I think this product is going to floor. I do. I think it'll floor like pretty darn close to 5,000 or in the high 4s maybe. I think it'll get all the way down there. We will see.
I love Puka Nacua. I love him as a receiver. I love how he attacks the ball and how physical he is.
Yeah.
He's not a collector's dream kind of guy, and he's already having injury issues in year 2.
Nah, and that's a busy offense in LA.
He is. He's sort of become option 1 when he's on the field, but no, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens in Monday Night Football.
Right. But let's move now to MLB free agency. As we said before, it is a very hot stove. Mm-hmm. And we had huge news come out of Japan just the other day. It is official that Roki Sasaki, the 23-year-old pitcher, will be posted by the Chiba Lotte Marines. He is, as I said, 23 years old. He has a 100-mile-an-hour fastball that has been clocked up to 102. He has apparently a better, more dominating splitter than Yamamoto, because he also throws it a lot harder.
Yeah, it's a different kind of pitch.
He has a slider and a curveball, although he doesn't really use the curveball anymore. Basically, he's a more powerful, younger version of Yamamoto, although Yamamoto commands a larger pitch arsenal and locates a little better as of now. If posted, and I think I'm getting this correct, but I looked up some of all the posting rules and stuff like that. If he's posted after December 15th, he will be eligible to sign a rookie contract it'll be a rookie deal, so 6 years, right? He'll be under team control for 6 years, and he will be allowed a maximum signing bonus of just $8 million. Just 8. This will not be a Yamamoto scenario where he gets 300 plus off the bat. The maximum he can get is 8.
I don't even think that's per year.
No. That's the signing bonus, period, is 8. The posting fee is 20 or 25% of the total value of the contract. So you're looking at not a whole lot. Of course, the Dodgers are kind of the heavy favorites to sign Roki Sasaki, of course, because they have Ohtani and Yamamoto already. I think the Mets probably have an outside shot with Senga being there. The Padres have an outside shot probably with Darvish being there.
Right.
I could see there's one other team.
I mean, you could say the Cubs with Imanaga.
Yeah, exactly. I think the Cubs could have an outside shot with Imanaga. But how do you say no to Ohtani and Yamamoto sitting there with the World Series trophy, with all of the Japanese sponsor dollars, which, like we talked about a little earlier, is going to be Roki Sasaki's main source of income on a rookie contract? We're going to go Roki Sasaki, and then we'll talk about all the other free agency stuff after that. But what are your thoughts initially on Roki Sasaki coming overseas and joining an MLB team in April?
Yeah, so on the open market, he's reported to be basically a $300 million pitcher.
Yeah.
But because of these rules, he's going to be paid on a year-to-year basis like a utility infielder. And with all 30 teams having the opportunity to sign him,
It's going to be $700,000 a year.
it is. It's $700,000 a year. And so with that being the case and him having the opportunity to essentially choose where he wants to go, you start to say, okay, then where is he going to choose? And I think it boils down to, yes, the teams that have other Japanese guys, then you probably throw the Mariners in there because of the whole Pacific Rim situation. But at the end of the day, this is the bare bones facts. If you're not getting paid quite what you're worth quite yet, in the open market at least, where are you going to go where you're going to make a butt ton more off of your already earned salary? And it's only one team. There is a team that has already cornered the Japanese markets. They basically have the second largest media market in the United States, plus a market of 140 million people who are waking up at 9 a.m. to watch their games. He's going to the Dodgers. He's going to. And I'm not saying that as a fan. If I was a fan of the Cincinnati Reds, I'd be sitting here saying, he's going to the Dodgers. Like, I would be beyond shocked. Because no team is going to offer him more. It's not a contract situation. It's a fit, and what do you want? So, there's only one team where he's going to show up and already be in the playoffs, barring disaster. So he has a chance at success, and a chance to create a name, and a chance for trophies and all that. So there's that. There's only one team, basically, where he's going to make the most possible off of endorsements, because, as we talked about, the team made over $100 million just off Ohtani. And so it's pretty clear, unless he grew up with a Yu Darvish poster on his wall, which maybe. I don't know that, but maybe.
Maybe.
And then you factor in the video that I showed Mr. H right here, where the Team Samurai Japanese manager, give or take 4 years ago, called Roki. Sasaki was walking down the sideline, and he said, Roki. And he brings him over, and standing right there with sunglasses on is Andrew Friedman and Will Ireton, who is now famously Ohtani's new translator. They've been purposely pushing him to Friedman. Friedman's been visiting and talking to him. Like, this isn't something that just happened now. This has been something that's been in the works.
It's been brewing.
So, if he doesn't come to Los Angeles, and I mean actually Los Angeles, not Anaheim, I will be flabbergasted.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah, and we also touched on it a little bit earlier before in terms of the luxury tax penalties and what the Dodgers are actually able to spend. People saying, how do the Dodgers still have money? This isn't necessarily about the Dodgers still having money. This is about the Dodgers being more creative, accounting-wise and marketing-wise with their team. The maximum luxury tax threshold, I believe, is 60%.
Yes.
It's like 50 to 60%. And you are only taxed that 50 to 60% on the amount of money you are over the cap. So the Dodgers, if they made apparently they made $120 million off of Ohtani alone last year. Ohtani alone, okay? You throw Sasaki into that mix, and you have Ohtani, Yamamoto, and Sasaki. By the way, that $120 million does not include the jersey sales that are going on right now after they won the World Series.
Literally as we speak.
So, like, maybe it's $150 million. I don't know. But that being said, the Dodgers are making so much money off of these Japanese players that they could legitimately afford to field a $400 million payroll and just say, F it. We will pay 60% on $150 million over the cap. And just say, you know what? We'll pay the $85 million in tax. Why? Because we can afford it. And so they can go get Roki Sasaki, although Roki will be free, basically. They can go get Juan Soto if they really wanted to.
If they think it works.
If they really wanted to, they could. They can really have a $400 million payroll, which is terrifying.
Because that's before you factor in the TV deal.
Yeah.
And the fact that they the league in attendance every year.
Yeah,
yes.
they have the biggest TV deal in
that's
all
the
of
secret to their success.
in all of sports.
Yeah.
It's like a $8 billion TV deal.
Over $300 million a year, I believe.
Something crazy. Speaking of the Dodgers, Teoscar Hernandez was extended a qualifying offer. Walker Buehler was not. Although if they get Sasaki, Buehler becomes one of Buehler or Flaherty, if not both. If they get Sasaki, will be gone. Because there's no reason to pay them that when you're basically replacing them with someone who's better.
And
realistically, and younger. And under 6 years of team control. Sasaki coming over is actually huge for the Dodgers. It's actually huge because it allows them to reset that clock. They've always been so good at keeping players in their first 6 years and paying them nothing.
Yep.
And then when they hit free agency, they let them walk. That's been the model.
They make their choices.
The Red Sox and the Orioles have been very interested in Teoscar Hernandez because, well, the Red Sox just need more stars at the end of the day.
They need talent.
They need everything.
Yeah.
The Orioles are probably going to lose Anthony Santander, and he's drawing a lot of interest from many teams. Santander is an interesting fit for a couple of teams. Mm-hmm. He's an interesting fit for the Yankees if they lose Soto.
Right.
Perfect fit for the Yankees if they lose Soto. He's also a perfect fit in LA for the Dodgers, as Mookie is shifting back to the infield next year.
That's what they say.
So if Mookie goes to the infield and say goes to second, they've offered Adames reportedly $160 million contract. I don't know if that's true. That leaves a spot open in right field, and a switch hitting Anthony Santander could be a great piece for the Dodgers. Juan Soto is meeting with Stephen Cohen in Newport this week.
Where do you think at? The Cannery?
Who knows? Who knows? I think that's where
Boris Corp is.
That's where Boris Corp is. So they're probably going to meet at Boris Corp.
Yeah.
The Yankees are also flying out to meet with Soto. The Dodgers have checked in, but the Mets, it looks like the Mets are basically going to tell Juan Soto, we'll give you a blank check, just put the number in, and if you want to come here, we'll pay it to you.
just write a few zeros there.
Is what it feels like. So honestly, it's kind of hard for me to see him going anywhere but the Mets or the Yankees.
Same.
Reportedly, he also wants to stay on the East Coast.
Yeah, a Dominican thing.
Yeah, exactly. What else? Kyle Hendricks, kind of random. He's going to the Angels to finish up his career. Good for you, Kyle.
Yeah, 5 years too late for the Angels.
I think he's isn't he not from around here?
He went to the Ivy League, but I'd have to double check on his birthplace.
I'm not sure. Pete Alonso and Christian Walker have heavy interest from the Yankees.
That's interesting.
They'll sign one of them, most likely, is my guess. The Mets, if they lose Alonso...
Oh, he was born in Newport Beach.
There you go. Kyle Hendricks is from here. I thought he was from here. If the Mets lose Pete Alonso, they will look to probably shift Mark Vientos to first base full-time, which makes sense. They probably see him as a first baseman long-term anyways. Willie Adames, who we mentioned earlier before, was offered, we know he was offered $170 million, I think over 7 years.
That's crazy.
From the Mets already. And that's a team that has Lindor standing there at shortstop already. I think the thought is if they lose Alonso, they can move Vientos to first and Adames
to third.
To third is my guess. Max Fried has interest from the Jays, the Orioles, the Red Sox, the Braves, and the Dodgers. We'll see what happens with Max Fried. He is an LA guy, went to Harvard Westlake High School out in the Valley here. Corbin Burns has been checked in on by the Yankees, the Mets, and the Dodgers. It's always the Yankees, the Mets, and the Dodgers this offseason. Apparently he wants over $200 million. I don't know if he's going to get that.
There's only 3 teams spending money. That's the 3 teams.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
And the Phillies.
Poor San Francisco Giants, man. Oh. No one wants to go to the Giants, and they want to spend $500 million so badly. You just know they do. But no one wants to go there.
They did.
Blake Snell has drawn interest from, most notably, the Astros.
Ugh.
I think he's probably either going to the Astros or back to the Padres. I think it's one of those two.
I can see that.
The Yankees are very interested in him as well. The Dodgers checked in, but I can't see it if they get Sasaki. I just don't see the point of spending. Apparently, he wants 7 years and $270 million. $38.5 million a year for a 31-year-old, which, if he is the best pitcher in baseball like he has been the past year plus, that's every penny worth it. But he has such a steep drop-off and rarely goes past 5 innings.
True.
So, moving on. NFL update. And we're going to rattle them off, and I'll ask you if anything surprised you.
Sure.
The Steelers edged the Commanders 28-27 in Washington. I think George Pickens is going to have a really big second half of the year. So much for my Washington Commanders going 12-2 prediction.
So much for the whole Steelers are like the worst.
Well, I still can't stand the Steelers. They're so boring to watch.
It's the defense. It's just all defense.
The Panthers won again. Their third win and second in a row out in Munich.
Yes. You're welcome, Munich.
Germany, yeah. Yeah, this is the game we talked about for a long time. Man, what an unattractive game to go to out there. Bryce Young, 2 wins in a row. Good job, Bryce. Way to go. Way to prove the haters wrong.
Yeah.
The Bills.
He showed us.
30-20 winners over the Colts. The Patriots beat up on the Bears on the road 19-3. Horrible showing from Chicago. Caleb Williams has been atrocious the last 3 weeks, and I mean real bad.
Yeah.
The Chiefs survived yet again to improve to 9-0. 16-14 today over the Broncos at home. They blocked a last-second field goal attempt.
Yeah, that's crazy.
To win the game. Absolutely wild. You got to wonder how long they can keep winning like these crazy one-possession games that come down to the last 7 minutes.
The question is, are they showing the resolve of a champion, or are they just mediocre and have a little bit of an edge?
Yeah,
We're going to find out.
I mean, I don't know. Give the ball to Mahomes with 5 minutes left and find out, right?
Yeah.
That's why he's Patrick
What other
Mahomes.
QB would you want instead?
Exactly. The Saints had a surprise win at home over the Falcons. They are down a lot of players. Chris Olave onto the IR now. The Niners, big one for the Niners. They saw the return of Run CMC. Christian McCaffrey is officially back in the lineup, and they beat the Bucs 23-20 on the road. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be impressed with that because the Bucs literally have no receiving core at all anymore. But good to see Christian McCaffrey back. It's been a while. The Vikings improved to 7-2 with an ugly road win at Jacksonville, 12-7.
Yeah.
In one of the best games of the year on Thursday night, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and the Ravens knocked off Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and the Bengals 35-34. Burrow had 428 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Whew.
And Jamar Chase had 264 yards and 3 touchdowns. But it was not enough because the Bengals can't play defense.
That is true.
Their defense is so bad. It's like so bad. And I know the Ravens have a great offense. But the Bengals defense is historically awful.
No, yeah, they're bad.
The Lions and the Texans kick off in... They just kicked off for us. We're filming this on Sunday night. Big game in Houston there. Nico Collins is back for the Texans. That is a welcome addition for C.J. Stroud. The Eagles trounced the Cowboys on the road 34-6. Dak Prescott is done for the year, and CD Lamb can't see because of the glare at AT&T Stadium. Come on, guys. Like, how do you design a stadium like that?
Yeah, well.
The Chargers are 6-3 after dispatching the Titans. Justin Herbert is quietly putting together a fantastic year in recent weeks. The Cards won big over the Jets at home, 31-6. Yikes. Aaron Rodgers is bad?
Yeah.
That whole team is just bad.
It's an organizational thing.
Monday night, the Rams host the Dolphins right here at SoFi Stadium. Not here in the studio, but at the stadium.
Next door.
That should actually be a really fun one. With Tua back, the Miami offense is elite.
A lot of points.
So I think there's going to be a lot of points in that. Maybe we should go to that. That'd be fun.
Little Veterans Day Monday night?
Yeah, any thoughts on any NFL? We
Man.
actually should go to that. I'm not kidding.
Making things happen live on air. Look, the Bengals are probably the sexiest 4-6 team you'll ever see, right? It's weird. Things to keep an eye on for next week. Bills and Chiefs should be good.
Yeah.
Bills are really rounding back into form. Look, I think very little of the Jets. I think very little of Aaron Rodgers at this point. But by the same token, I'm like, I think we kind of need to take the Cardinals seriously here pretty soon.
Yeah, I think
31 points at any point in the NFL, or sorry, that much of a spread in the NFL, you can't really sneeze at because every team has razor-thin margins.
100%.
So the Cardinals just keep winning, and it's no longer a fluke eventually.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And I gotta say, like, they're doing it a different style. And it's not that sexy, and they're doing what they need to do. But the difference right now is Jim Harbaugh knows how to coach.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Herbert's always been great. And system, injuries, stupid fourth down decisions, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
It wasn't working the last couple of years, but Herbert's a talent.
He is.
So all those close games that they lost, and they really just charged it away,
They're winning those games.
they're pulling them. This wasn't a one-possession game, but it was tight, and they did it through running and stiff defense.
Yeah.
And I think that's a team that, at least with coaching and QB play, is going to cause trouble here down the line.
Imagine when Herbert gets more weapons on that offense.
Yeah, they have 0 receivers of note.
But we got to move to our NBA update, and we're going to rattle these off quick because we got to go. The Cleveland Cavaliers are now 11-0 as of this recording.
Good for them.
They are averaging a 12.5-point differential, and they're doing it with pretty balanced scoring, honestly, from Mitchell, Garland, Mobley, Allen, Karis LeVert, however you pronounce it, LeVert. It looks like a very complete team. The Celtics are second in the East at 8-2, but the rest of the entire Eastern Conference is either 500 or worse.
Cool.
Ouch. The Sixers are 1-7 without Joel Embiid. Of course, Embiid got suspended for shoving a reporter. Ugly in Philly, although we will see Embiid come back on Tuesday. In the West, it's the I cannot speak right now. It is the Suns and Thunder leading the pack at 8-1. Followed by the Warriors, the Wolves, the Nugs, and the Grizz. The Lakers, shocker, lost 4 in a row after winning 4 to start the season. Their defense is still awful.
Yeah.
The West is actually going to be wild. I mean like the Wild West. Like the conference is absolutely stacked this year in the West. It's going to be crazy. Wemby averages, as we talked about, are way down across the board, mostly because he's taking like 8 3-pointers a game. And I thought this was interesting because Greg Popovich was interviewed before his hospital visit. And Greg Popovich says that Wemby should keep jacking them up from the perimeter and that Wemby is a perimeter player. And that is why I hate the NBA. Because even the bigs, even the most talented bigs ever, are playing outside in. Like the post game doesn't exist anymore. Like, really, at all. Like, maybe Jokic kind of has it, right?
Yeah.
And, like, Embiid's got it.
Doesn't.
But this just really pisses me off. Like, imagine if Wemby put on, like, 30 to 40 pounds in the next few years and, like, actually had a post game. How unstoppable he would be.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that he can stretch the floor is great. But come on. He should not be a perimeter player at the end of the day. Am I right? Am I wrong?
I don't disagree, but also his perimeter abilities are what made him the alien.
Yeah, exactly.
At that size, to play like a wing, yes, I do think he needs to attack the rim. And yes, it would be nice if the 7-3 guys put their butts a couple feet away from the rim.
Yeah, I would love to see him attack the rim. Come on.
But those abilities and what Popovich is talking about, probably in a more broad sense, before going to the hospital, is essentially what made him the super prospect that he is.
That's true. But we've run out of time and need to wrap this episode up. But thanks for tuning in to the Hobby Headquarters Sports Card Podcast, brought to you by the Hollywood Rips Studio. If you enjoyed this week's episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. We really appreciate the love, and it's the only way we can continue growing the channel. So until next time, I'm Mr. Hollywood, and that's Joe Nasty. We'll see you next week. Mr. Hollywood, Joe Nasty, out.